Zelda made her way to the common room of the ladies' side of the mansion. It was a modest room that doubled as a den and a kitchen. The area was littered with a few tables and chairs, as well as a well-stocked fridge filled with nearly any kind of food one could imagine, no small thanks to the powers of Master Hand. There was a neat and clean kitchen area in case anyone wanted to cook, and 3 large pantries stocked with dried and canned foods. She still hadn't decided what she wanted for breakfast since her mind was occupied with other thoughts, such as her evening meeting with her blue friend. She was sorer than she originally thought. She expected as much, seeing as how she used muscles that she hadn't used in years. And since she wasn't one to talk about such things in public, she did her best not to move too stiffly as to attract unwanted attention. Thankfully, she didn't run into anyone yet as she arrived in the common room. Her first duty was to make coffee. She needed the caffeine. It didn't take her long before the room was filled with the welcoming aroma of the black liquid. She poured herself a nice large mug, added a few sugars, and some milk tank milk. She didn't know what it was about this product from the world of Pokemon, but she adored drinking it, either in her coffee or by itself, but the stuff was addicting. No sooner had she sat down and enjoying her first sip that Zelda noticed the presence of another person. Samus Aran yawned loudly as she dragged herself into the room. Zelda noticed the shirt she was wearing and knew it immediately. It was the tan undershirt that Link wore under his green tunic. That told her all she needed to know about what Samus was up to and with whom. The bounty hunter made it no secret that she and Link were intimate, although no one dared bring the subject up to her face, not unless they liked getting punched through the wall by her Chozo-enhanced strength. The 2 women nodded at each other as Samus walked over to the fridge and opened it, bending down at the waist to look for something cheap and easy to make for her breakfast. Zelda got quite the view from her vantage point of her bare ass, which was covered with red handprints. She stifled a giggle. Samus liked her sex like she liked her combat, loud and rough. This was just another part of her I don't care what the worlds think attitude that they all knew all too well. When she stood upright again, she had a piece of pizza in between her lips. Samus enjoyed cold pizza. She said it gave her everything she needed for the day, and heating it up was just too much of a hassle. After getting her own cup of coffee, she sat down next to her friend and ate quietly, all the while staring straight at Zelda, with a somewhat amused expression on her face. She didn't say anything. Rather, she was waiting for the princess to say something. Zelda knew this. Samus would pick up on anything she said and use it to come to some conclusion about what happened last night. Zelda merely went about drinking her coffee. After eating about half a slice of pizza, Samus finally spoke. So, is he as fast in bed as he is at everything else? Zelda nearly choked on her coffee the moment the words left her mouth. She nearly coughed up a lung before she was able to speak. Samus! What? It's an honest question. She casually took another bite. He did stay over, didn't he? That's none of your business, she bellowed. Samus was unaffected by her outrage. No point in trying to hide it. Who's to say that anything happened? If he stayed over. Oh, he stayed over. And how, may I ask, do you know that? The walls have ears, she answered, sipping on her mug. Plus you're a screamer. I am not a screamer, she denied, as if she were being accused of murder. Samus raised her eyebrow before clearing her throat to speak in her best Zelda impression that she could muster. Please, Sonic, pound this princess like a piece of dough. Harder, faster, you blue bastard. Zelda balked. She was speechless. And moreover, she could believe that the bounty hunter was right. All she wanted to do at that moment was to run and hide somewhere where no one could find her, and then hide under her bed if there was one to hide under. I said that? She muttered. Yep. Can't believe you had a mouth like that. But then again, I do say some weird shit when I'm in the mood with Link. How long? She asked. Not long. Probably 10 minutes. After that, I junked blinked and didn't really pay attention to the rest. Oh, goddesses, she mumbled as she buried her face in her palm. I hope no one else heard that. Zelda rubbed her back as the princess lamented. It's okay, Zelda. That just means the blue boy did a good job on you. He did do a good job on you, right? You didn't just say that stuff just to make him feel good. Zelda looked up at Samus, a bit incredulous that she still wanted more details. She thought for a moment if it was a good idea to tell her, but this was Samus, and she wasn't the type to talk about private matters to others. With a deep sigh, she relented. It was utterly amazing. Samus's face was awash with delighted interest. Really? Yeah. Don't let his speed fool you. He's not a quick shot. And he's got stamina for days, which is understandable considering how much energy he needs to keep moving that fast. Ah! I knew it. Sonic's a machine. Samus laughed. Will you stop? Zelda pushed her friend lightly. So you're gonna do it again? I'm not sure. What? Samus exclaimed, looking at Zelda as if she grew a third arm. But I thought you said the sex was awesome. It is, she replied. By the goddesses, if I had my way, I'd hunt him down right now, drag him back to my room, and spend the rest of the day making sure he can only run with a damn limp. Then what's the problem? The problem is, I don't know where that leaves us. Sonic's one of my closest friends, and I fucked him. I don't know where to go from there. Plus, there's the whole... What? Is this a private conversation, or can any old bitch jump in? The two women looked up to see another woman stroll into the room. She was one of the newest smashers, and one who commanded attention from both men and women alike. It was the Umbra Witch herself, Bayonetta. She walked in like she owned the place, hips swinging to and fro like she was trying to seduce the very walls themselves. Zelda and Samus concluded a while ago that it was almost impossible for the woman to not strut everywhere. And she gained a lot of attention from the male smashers, too. Many of them tried to woo her, but she shot them all down. Contrary to her looks, skin-tight outfit, and flirtatious personality, Bayonetta was not a slut by any means. She not only created lust with her ways, but she commanded respect, seeing as how she was frighteningly powerful. King Dedede once tried to approach her for a date. No one is sure what was said between them, only that the self-appointed king of Dreamland was pummeled black and blue by the witch. Since then, she hasn't received as many offers for dates. At least not in a while, anyway. Bayo, Samus called out to her by her nickname. You're up early. Have some things to do today. I can't stay in bed like normal. Well, there's coffee if you want it, offered Zelda. Bayonetta shook her head. No, thank you. Can't stand the stuff. But enough of that. What has you so down in the dumps, dear princess? Zelda blushed a bit. It's personal. I assume it has something to do with that little blue rodent whom you're so very close to. How did you... She spoke before giving Samus the evil eye. Samus... The bounty hunter held up her hands in defense. I didn't say a word. Bayonetta took out one of her trademark lollipops and shoved it in her mouth. Oh, please. I may be beautiful, but I'm not stupid. Anyone with a working brain can see how much you adore Sonic. And seeing as how your group of male friends is very small, it's easy to assume the source of your distress. Wow. Was it that obvious? Indeed. So, how was the dear little rodent in bed? Zelda's eyes went wide. You know too? Did you hear anything last night? Not so much, she answered. Just you and the hunter over there having the same look on your faces. What look? That I just been fucked proper and I want to go another round look. It can't be a coincidence. Zelda considered lying to the witch, but a glance over to Samus told her otherwise. She merely shrugged her shoulders, telling her to come clean. It's true. We did have sex last night. Pretty good, I assumed. More like awesome. Samus! What? It's true? Bayonetta gave out a satisfied laugh. Glad to see someone in this mansion outside the elf boy knows how to use his hips. So what's the problem? That's what we were talking about when you walked in, Zelda explained. I'm not sure where this leaves me and Sonic. I mean, I still want to be his friend. So, I don't see the problem. Friends can fuck, you know. Samus slammed her hand down hard on the table with a laugh. I said the same thing yesterday. Zelda cursed under her breath at hearing that phrase again from another person. Regardless, it's not just that. Then what is it, dear? It's the fact that we're so different. He's a talking hedgehog. I'm a human princess. How's that even begin to work? The witch gazed at her for a long time, munching on her lolly as she did. Only after stripping the stick of any and all hard candy did she speak again. Is that all? What do you mean? Asked Zelda. I don't really see the problem, dear. So what if you two are the same? As long as the sex is good, it shouldn't matter. I don't think you understand the situation too much, Bayonetta. The giant beauty adjusted her glasses before speaking again. I wouldn't be so sure of that if I were you. Don't tell me, Zelda started to say, understanding completely what she was implying. Bayonetta seductively crossed her long legs. Let's just say that I've had some rather interesting run-ins with some demons of Inferno, and I do mean many run-ins. Zelda had a look on her face. It was as if her whole understanding of the world had just been shattered in that instant. The witch just shrugged. Even a multi-century-old witch like me has itches that need scratching, and sadly the men of my world aren't up to such a task. Samus rubbed the back of her blonde friend's covered head. I can totally understand that, Bayo. Zelda nearly broke her neck as she jerked her head to the side to her friend. You too? The blonde superhuman gestured to herself. Z, I'm a genetically enhanced human who was raised by bird people to fight giant space leeches. My circle of human friends, let alone dating partners, is woefully small. So I've dabbled outside my species. It's quite common from where I'm from. You're kidding me. The guy I dated before hooking up with Link was a Sevian. Sevians don't have lips. Oh, goddesses. Zelda did not expect this when she came in to have a cup of coffee. Her mind reeled as she attempted to imagine what Samus's last boyfriend looked like. But that was as far as she was willing to go. Any further, and she would start questioning her sanity. Well, as much as I would love to help you further with your woes, dear, she said as she started up from the table, I'm afraid I must leave you here. I have a lunch date. Zelda arched her eyebrow. I thought you said regular men don't interest you. I said men of my world. This isn't my world, she said smugly. Good point, said Samus. So who's the lucky guy, huh? Marth, Roy, Mac? It isn't Falcon, I hope. Bayonetta scoffed. Oh, please, that little racer wouldn't last a second with me. Then who is it? It's Dave. A quizzical expression grew on the bounty hunter's face. Dave? There's no Dave here. I don't know any Dave. Dave? Zelda exclaimed. As in, David? How did that happen? The princess caught sight of how her friend was looking and calmed herself. Oh, that's right. You don't know. Samus, Dave is Snake's real name. Samus was stunned by the revelation. But I thought Snake was his real name. He told me a few months ago. He certainly looks like a David. To think you know a guy, she grumbled. So, you and Snake, huh? Didn't think he was your type. What can I say? He's got some kind of animal magnetism about him. Or maybe I think he just has a nice ass. I won't comment on that. You just have a good time. That's the plan, princess, and hopefully you won't see me or little Dave until next week. Ta-ta, ladies. And with that, the Umbral Witch strolled out of the room as provocatively as she entered. Zelda downed the last of her coffee before rising to her feet. And what are you going to do? Asked Samus. First, I'm going to go back to my room and try to forget some of the things I heard today. She spoke, giving Samus a nasty glare, which only got a laugh out of her. Then I'm going to get dressed. I have to look my best for someone. Who? Sonic? No. Someone more godly.